One of the all-time great fighter aircraft ever manufactured by mankind, the F16. On the table for these watches, very appropriate for one of them. Very appropriate. You'll see why here in just a second. A good fight, by the way, would be between a very experienced Viper pilot in air-to-air combat, ACM, versus an F-22 Raptor pilot. And we'll say you can just use guns and heat-seeking missiles. That would be a good fight. I know the F-22 is amazing, especially again in the hands of someone who knows how to employ the weapon system. Very cool. But here comes a watch tying into that Viper. It's going to be the 4117 Hawker Harrier HUD. Have you even seen this thing yet? Prepare to be impressed if you like fun watches. Look at this. Oh my goodness, that is cool. That is cool. Now, I'm cheating here a little bit because this is a black light flashlight. It charges up the lume pretty quick. The lume in all AVI8 pieces, it fades pretty quickly. It's just the nature of it, especially when you have colorized hands. So in one variation I'm going to show you, I have orange hands. You can see it there. Anytime you go with a non-white lume, it's not going to last that long. But it really isn't about the lume, it's about this right here. Here comes the extra special, high fancy falutin studio lights. This is the orange-red variation of the 4117 Hawker Harrier HUD. By the way, a name that is overused. Hey, AVI8, you need to come up with a new name, dude. You use Hawker Harrier for everything. Hawker Hurricane for everything. I get it, it's aviation theme, but let's kind of do something different, bro. Yeah. Anyways, back to the watch review. I have two variations to show you. One's very special. On loan, it's a special edition from Island Watch, who I think the world of. I think they're a great company ran by Mark over there in Long Island. And this one is the standard AVI8. As you can see, it mimics the HUD. If you don't know what that means, heads-up display unit that the pilot, at least in this generation of aircraft, look through to obtain pretty much all the information. Weapon engagement information, warbling, surface-to-air threats, altitude, airspeed, turn and bank, all that stuff is on the HUD, and it's user configurable as well. We're just doing somewhat of a HUD presentation here. It's not, I don't think it's trying to mimic any specific aircraft, but here we've got airspeed, so what, about 450 knots. Then right here, I guess we have, well, that's your horizon line, I think. And I'm not really sure what that would be. We have the actual date, and you can see a lot of these markings are applied to the mineral crystal, so it gives a really cool three-dimensional effect. Making it a pretty busy watch. I ain't gonna lie, that's pretty busy, but it's a different watch. I like it. It's super fun. Not really sure what this is, 57, 58. That's not heading because that'd be 0 to 360. And this other variation has a different display. We'll look at that too. So on to the face we go for this one. Again, 2-for-1 review. This is a 4117, and then I also reviewed the amazing 4122 Atlas GMT. You're getting a lot for your money here. We're going to go quick too. Maybe short format. The first thing you notice is this is like a turbine of a motor, this chapter ring, and also you can turn it with this knob right here. Also a turbine motif, see that? And AVI8 does this all the time. So they do a motif, and you'll see it if you pay attention in a lot of different ways on the watch. So you can use this as a timing bezel. I will say the numbers are pretty hard to read, especially orange against black. They look pretty presentable right there, I will say. Negative display date on this NH35 movement. So it's an automatic, no battery replacements needed. I love that. Well done, AVI8. A mineral crystal, again, not sapphire for this one. Should be kind of for the price. The price is kind of up there for an AVI8, but I will say this, all watches have been going up by like 30 to 40%, so it is what it is. I've ranted about that before. And then there's your hands. In this variation, the camera's not doing a great job capturing it. It's actually orange on hollow black. Is that awesome or not awesome? I do like it a lot. I think it's cool. The one thing I don't like are any hollow hands. I'm just not a big fan of them. Let me wind this thing up. Get that seconds hand going. I just hate hollow hands. I don't care what the reason is. This is a watch I would definitely hands mod. I'd probably either tape them in some contrasting color or trying to save the lume, match the color, spray paint the hands so they just pop better. Do I have a watch on the table that does that? Not really. But you know what I mean. I've said it before. I wish they would have just gone with solid hands. I think what they're trying to do is have you be able to look through the hands at information. I just don't like it. I don't mind the shape of the hands. That's pretty good. Just not popping on the fade color. So this is a cool coloration, by the way. This is orange fading into black. It does look brighter online. So when I got this watch, it's like, oh, it's a bit darker than I thought. And that's usually the case, that you just can't really tell if you'll love a piece till you get it in person. The effective case space on this, did I measure it? Do you care? Yes, 33 millimeters. That's pretty good. That's a wide effective case space. This is a 44 millimeter by 15 millimeter by 52 lug-to-lug millimeter, and that gives us a good opportunity to look at the brushed and polished surfaces of the 316L stainless steel case of the Harrier HUD watch. Really cool looking piece. I think when you wear this, you're going to get attention. People are just going to, at least dudes that are into watches, going, what the heck do you have on your wrist? Oh, it's a Harrier. Harrier. I'll throw it on my wrist before we stop, but quick wrist check. This is an RGMT torpedo. That's what I'm talking about. So see how the hands on that one just pop? Well done. This is also NH35 automatic. RGMT watches are phenomenal. I just found them within the last 12 months. They're bigger pieces, although they do have some smaller ones coming out. If this one's still available, I'll put a link below. And then on this wrist, yeah, I have two analog pieces, the Edix Chrono Rally. Again, look at how those hands pop on that. That's factory. I did not do anything to this. This is a Swiss-made quartz, sadly, chronograph watch, and I do have a chrono timer running. Yeah. So, very nice piece on this. We do have a slight doming on the mineral crystal. Non-locking crown, by the way, so it'll just spin. Hand winding, hacking, I've already demonstrated that and that as well. This, I don't have permission to take the sticker off, so I'm not going to, but you can see the turbine motif represented again. And we might have like a jet under there, I'm not so sure. Information there, that just really cool though. Then we have quick release spring bars on this composite silicone and leather strap. And it's in, again, a color that ties into the face, orange and black. The great Halloween piece right here. Would I replace the strap? Usually on AVI8s, I would say absolutely not. I'd definitely wear this one. I like silicone less against my skin than I do leather or cloth. I've always said that. 22 millimeter lugs, non-drilled through. Once again, two keepers. Same logo class that we see. Solid stainless steel. There's a call number on this one. -03 is the orange. And the -01 is the blue. -02 is the green. The colors that this comes in are fantastic. They're super fun. Some are like partially loomed as well, the faces are. And that takes us to this super special edition of the AVI8 Hawker Harrier HUD. This was the Islander watch collaboration. And dude, it is sold out. If you snoozed, you losed. Is that right? Can I even say that? Whatever, it's gone. This is the Islander 4142 LIW01 F16 HUD collaboration, and I got to show you the lume on this because it's just a little bit different. Again, we're not going to these pieces acting like they're like these incredible lume shiners. They're not, but it, you know, when they're fresh, they're cool. Look, this has a partially loomed face on this F14 variation that Mark did. Look at how cool this is, bro. Damn, that's cool. Again, that's fresh. It'll fade quickly, but while it's fresh, it's pretty awesome. Notice, by the way, the seconds hand is the outline there at the central part, right on the axle, is F14. Isn't that cool? And I think up there in New York, they had a tie to the manufacturing of the F14. That's one reason he did it. And so AVI8 worked with him to do this special edition. And like I said, it's gone. It's sold out. There's a watch, I think, that sold for about $350. If you had it new in box or basically unmolested, you could sell it for $500 in 2 years. No problemo. Because these are in demand. Anytime a watch sells out that very quickly, there's a lot of dudes that like it and want it. But look at the variation of the HUD. You can see that now we have just a completely different presentation on there. Airspeed on the left. I think this is pitch symbology right here. I don't really see a G meter. Oh, there's altimeter right there. So 2992, 12.5. I think that is probably your altitude you're passing through. And then you have ILS, Mach 0.6, and something else is a complication in this variation. The camera's not doing a real good job at all showing the green. It's actually a deeper green than you're seeing there. It looks a little bit washed out on the camera. Same rotating inner bezel as before. Same hands, albeit in gray. This one's a little bit better in that you can pick the hands up better, but just because you have like that lime green interior on the fadeaway dial. Mineral crystal once again. This is a case that has been coated, so it's not polished stainless steel. I kind of like this one better, the case on this. And then we don't have the turbine on the back. I do have permission, by the way, to take this sticker off to show you the F14. Here it comes. You ready? Yeah, not fancy. I still want that watch. There you go. So I think the Calverton is his aviation series there at Islander. Look, only 100. Holy crap. 27 of 100. Oh, whoa. Oh, I misspoke. This one's sapphire. That one isn't, I don't think. I think that's mineral. You can see that sapphire labeled. They will brag about it, like I say, if they do it. Really nice case back. Really nice execution on this piece overall. It really is. I'll stick with what I said. They should have done the hands in solid and almost white, an off-white coloration on this, so they would have popped. And then for a variation in color, I would have liked an orange or yellow seconds hand on that. It's just lacking some pop in the color department. Not with the strap. The strap is lime, bright fluorescent green really, and black. Same composite construction before. I'm not sure how this will wear with hard use. It might just start delaminating. I'm not really sure. But that's that watch. 2 for 1. Man, I spent way too much time on that one. Apologies. Now we go to the AVI8 Atlas GMT. I'm going to show you number 1, the orange-red -06. This is Tactical Doodles. He's a watch fiend, spending way too much money on watches. Look at this, dude. So this is a GMT watch. It will track a second time zone with the this tiny hand right there. See that? I never use them. I usually have a smartwatch on. These days an Apple Watch, but it's cool. And it's 1 revolution per 24 hours. And then you can play with your timing bezel to track a different time zone. And interestingly, the timing bezel can time also. So you can see how it lines up here at the 12 o'clock position. Every 2 is a 5-minute mark. So that'd be 5, 10, 15. If you just remember that, works as a timing bezel. The action on this, by the way, is 5 out of 5. No backlash. Positive. Strangely, for a GMT, it's not unidirectional. It's bidirectional. That's a very dive watchy thing, but I don't mind at all. But just initially, the Atlas GMT, in every single color you see it, is a striking piece. It is absolutely breathtaking. And this is a watch that looks better in person than it does online. Just kind of the opposite of this one. I would say these are ugly. I'm not saying that, but the colors are a little bit more dim than you saw online. At least I think. This one is like, damn, that's bright. So in review, and again, these will all sell out, be gone before you know it. The -01 was a devil black. -02 was an earth blue. I have one of those. -03 was a dark green, gorgeous. -04 is a mist gray, and this -06 was orange red, and there's probably some others I forgot. Do you guys remember the 4052 I reviewed years ago? It has the same type of hands. I did say I hate hollow hands. I will continue to say that. The thing that I like about the Atlas GMT is in every color presentation I've seen, they pop. And here's why. Just look. It's what I said. White. Why don't reviewers talk about this? I've watched a ton of watch reviews before, and they always accept whatever the hands are doing. They can be thin, shiny, goofy looking, Cathedral, Mercedes hands, Dauphine hands, hate all those. And they don't even mention them. Dude, you're talking about all the details of the watches. The hands are the most important. That's why I rant about them all the time. But in this one, the 4122, you can pop them. They're great, dude. White against orange all day long. In fact, the 4052s that I did hand mods on, like I taped them, I've untaped them. Just because, again, they're legible without it. Getting back to the case, the effective case space on this is 32 millimeters. That's pretty darn good as well. Not quite as long or expansive as this one. All pretty close though. And then you can see a deep chapter ring, deep markers, all types of markings and complications going on there. Texture dial. GMT, AVI8. I love the colors of this one. So you have the orange, the micro graduations, applied stick markers. Legible date, even though it's in negative display. Really a cool looking watch. Deep too. It's just deep in presentation. Look at this. An automatic as well. This is a Seiko GMT movement. I forgot the number on it. Doesn't matter. Probably around 42-hour power reserve. But it's an automatic, not a battery. The AVI8s that I have that run on batteries, to include that 4052, I get about a year and a half and then I have to replace a battery. That's kind of sad. And then we have some screws in this very beautiful, well-executed case, polished and matte surfaces or brush surfaces. 22 millimeter lugs on this one. Tapered leather straps, so no composite here. 2 keepers. This is a strap I just run to the ground till it just shredded. I would not replace this strap. Stitching tying into the themology of the watch. Once again, no one does it like AVI8. They're just fantastic. And then we have a see-through case back with city markings on the back. Really cool. AVI8 rotor there in orange, also tying into the color theme. Really nice. Very well done watch on this. Let me show you another coloration. I think this is the misty gray one right here. This is my watch. And non-screw-in crown, by the way, so sorry if that's a bummer to you, don't get it. 50 meter water resistance on both of these pieces. Here you go. 44 millimeters on this misty gray, 14.4 in thickness, and 53.8 lug to lug. And, they're going to be big pieces. Let me put it against my wrist here. I'll take off this piece right here. RGMT Torpedo. Oh, what a great watch. What a great watch. Man, I'm so glad I got into watches. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. This is what I used to wear on camera for 9 years in the project. So this is a good watch. There's a Timex Marathon. Very useful, very easy to read. I drywalled with this one, thrashed the shit out of it. I still have it, still use it. I'm not going to run one of these pieces when I'm drywalling. That'd be retarded. But you guys, for years and years, oh man, you got to do watch reviews. Please, 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 please. That's now I'm doing them. Nobody watches them. Pun intended. This is what it looks like on my wrist, by the way. 7.5 inch wrist. It's a bigger piece. No apologies. It is what it is. Really beautiful piece here. So here we have a gray case. Gray strap. Same case back. Oh my goodness, that's a good looking piece. Look at the colors on this one. Light blue, royal blue, textured gray dial, orange pip on the GMT hand, white again, so it's super legible. I'm talking about the main hands, hours hand, minutes hand. It's a fairly smooth sweep for a value watch. Yes, this is a value watch. Oh my goodness. Here comes another one from you know who, Tactical Doodle. This I think is the blue, is it the earth blue, the 02. Look at this. I told you there's no bad colors on all these. All the colors are just absolutely phenomenal. And look at this one. So we have like a dark blue bezel on this one. Not really dark blue. It's kind of like a medium blue. Anodized bezel. So they're not ceramic inserts. Great bezel action on this. Let's look at the lume on this one because I will forget. I will forget. Ben Fancy, would you wear these pieces? Oh yeah, all day long. Either one of these watches, super, super fun. Love them, love them, love them. There you go. Atlas GMT by AVI8. Getting it done. at least in the first few minutes. Are they worth the money? Absolutely they are. Again, my audience has gotten a little bit skewed on watch value. They want to watch this like $89. And if it's beyond that, most of the viewers are like, I'm not spending over $100 on a watch. Okay, dude. Then I got one for you. Here you go. Perfect. Call it good. Highly recommended. On the table is an Ace Beam AA. This is a great watch in green. Then we have the 22 Magnum Pug by North American Arms. Fantastic. And then not shown in the show before, coming out of the 164 scale Racing Museum. This is the McLaren F1 GTR. I have to read it to get it right. Look at how cool that is, dude. What? Oh my gosh. Nothing fancy. Would you drive that around? All day long I would. McLarens are high maintenance though. They are super high maintenance. By the way, I will put some links for the Mini GT brands. Any Mini GT that you get, I think the price is very low for the quality you're getting. I do recommend leaving them in package for the years. And if you absolutely have to, you can take them out. If you have kids, you know, let them play with them. Then maybe put them back in. I'm not saying you need to like worship them, but if you're an adult collecting, just leave them in package. This car will go up in value. If I sell this in 5 years, I'll get more out of it than I put into it. No, I'm not kidding. There you go. Mini GT is a great brand. And we are done, boys. I went as fast as I could. Thanks so much for your kind support. Thanks also for watching watches. I know it's a crazy world out there. A lot of bad stuff going on. And you may wonder why I don't talk about that in the reviews. It's because they're reviews. They're not a current events summary on what's going on. I don't put that in the watch show or any of my reviews. It's stupid to do so. And we need to break away from the news cycle and just have fun and be entertained. Speaking of which, being entertained, the Kershaw Mini Auto 7250. The Launch 19, also a Kershaw Auto, and CPM 154. Oh my goodness, great knife. See ya!